cooking meth, there has to be some sort of realism and real life situations that this person who wrote it witnessed in their life. Because you said he was an addict, right?
Yeah. He struggled with William struggled with drugs for a long time, and all the things that happen in this movie is stuff that he really, because he wrote it from the perspective of Ross. So the writer is Ross in a sense. You know, so the dog. Okay, for instance, so
Taco.
Taco had to go to the vet because of too much secondhand smoke from the meth lab. Correct?
Yeah.
So that really happened, but the dog just didn't turn green.
Yeah, it was just a sick dog.
Yeah. So there's things that were heightened, you know, for cinematic value, certain things, but a lot of this was real shit. Yeah. You know, so these people, maybe they don't look like these actors,
but these are based on characters that
actually exist.
That's crazy.
If they're not dead already right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I wonder if that really happened to the Ross when he took the cook, you know, and he blew up at the end. Spoiler alert.
Something deep, maybe. Is that a spoiler? Is that a swan effect?
Maybe. I was gonna say, did you guys? When did you first see this movie, Wesley?
I saw this when it came out for rental, so not in the theater. I'm sure it did have a theater, maybe a smaller theatrical release, but yeah, this was a big thing when it came out on video. And initially, because I was raised by my grandparents, of course they didn't want to rent it for me.
Yeah.
So then I ended up getting my hands on it another way, and I watched it, and it was just like it kind of blew my mind in a lot of ways, you know, especially because I won't say who it was, but I've been through similar situations that happened in this movie through family members and whatnot, and so
it's all too similar.
Yeah, it's hugely relatable, as sad as that may seem. So I, you know, and I'm not somebody who takes trauma and then will block shit out where I'm sure a lot of people would think I would hate this movie because I've lived it essentially.
Or witnessed it,
Yeah, you know what I mean? But I'm able to look past, I guess, that trauma and be like, yo, like this is art, you know what I mean? This is like,
you're able to digest it.
This is authentic, and it you know, it's really how it goes down.
This is real. Yeah.
You know, and
it's as real as you can get as far as it being a movie or a documentary. You know, this really... They really nailed their antics down, you know, down to like you said, you've witnessed it. I've witnessed it amongst family members and friends and stuff, and I'm pretty sure Tiny's been there too. But
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how they associated like Volvos with like.
All right, I was saying that too. Actually, my coworker at work, he's never seen it. But I showed him the trailer in the first 10 minutes because you could watch the first 10 minutes on YouTube. And he's like, oh, they have a Volvo? And he's like, oh, I know a lot of crazy people with Volvos. So I'm like, I wonder if that's like an underlying thing, you know? Maybe the tweaker guy knew that, you know, he's seen a lot of... he's the one... If he's Ross, then he's the one who had the Volvo. That's pretty good. Yeah, we know a lot of crazy meth people with Volvos. For sure. But that's why it was really relatable. I had probably seen this movie 2008, 2009. It took me a few years to see it. I got the movie when I used to work at Thrift Trader. It came through and I just bought it. Like it was like $1 or something, and I watched it and I absolutely loved it. I didn't know till later that the person who directed it was like a music video producer. So I always thought it was the way it was shot, you know, the certain angles or the certain cutaway parts, the split screens. There's a lot of split screens in the movie. There's a lot of there's a couple POV parts. I like the fact that when they were all tripping and they had that really kind of like a kaleidoscope vision of themselves all talking about the crystals and shit. It all reminded me of like a really cool extensive music video. So I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know the dude he specialized or he came from music videos. So that was something cool.
And you also didn't know he did Lords of Chaos.
Lords of Chaos as well, yeah, and another great film, dude.
That's raw and kind of makes you feel gross for watching it. You know what I mean? Type of deal like this. He seems to have like a knack for getting down to that grimy like bottomless pit of like the seedier side of people. That's hard to capture. You know what I mean?
He has a raw emotion about especially his content of what he's doing.
Like things people would never touch, like in the movie industry.
Yeah,
he's doing it.
That's probably why the writer got his fucking script rejected so many times, because they read it and it's like, dude, this is about just crackheads in a house, but they made something of it, and a lot of people love it. I like it. And especially it has, I think it has a great cast. It was casted very well. Spider Mike, John Leguizamo, he did a very, very good rendition of a crackhead dealer, a spun out dealer. Frisbee played a pretty cool, someone that's always just at the house, just kind of a weirdo.
A lingerer, man.
A fucking lingerer, man, exactly. Brittany Murphy's character, Nikki, she was amazing. I always felt like the movie was just, based off of, should have been just Ross and Nikki. So I get it now, since the guy who wrote the main character probably, liked Nikki, or liked the character Nikki. So it makes sense, because it's almost like a love story towards the end where they kind of feel a connection and they kind of find comfort in themselves. Because if you think about it, it's just a fucking sad part of the movie. They're just these crackheads who are just finding themselves and in such denial about shit,
Yeah.
Especially Ross, dude.
Ross had a really good chick, and then he fucked it all up, and then
he's like, I'm working for this chemist. He's just been working me really. And he's all spun out. He's like, what? All trying to argue with her. He's like, can I just hold you for a second? But yeah, she was pretty hot too, man. She was pretty beautiful. She looked like everything just stopped when she was walking by.
Yeah, I love how they really heightened them meeting for the first time after all this stuff has happened, and how he comes, you can tell he's spun, where he hasn't slept for days. His eyes are all fucked up.
Zombie.
Yeah.
Driving the Volvo.
He can barely kind of contemplate that she's in front of him.
Yeah.
And she's just not having it. Where she's like, yo, where's my money? He gives her a little bit of it.
$100 out of the $450.
She's like, really? I don't have fucking time for this, And that's right there is a real when you do that shit, it causes you to be flaky. You know what I mean? You're just inconsistent.
Yep.
And that's when you start losing people that matter in your life.
Yeah.
She's like, I moved on. I have my own life now. Wasn't she a model or something?
You could tell she's totally put together. Yeah. You know what I mean? And
sober as fuck.
And sometimes women like that, they tend to choose somebody who is not right for them. And it takes a bit of time for them you have to fuck up, and then they just give up on you,
That's probably what happened with Ross. Yeah. Gideon. Tiny, what was your favorite part of the movie, man?
I have probably several, dude, but probably the fucking we haven't done a play-by-play, but the liquor store scene, dude, with the little essay in there, and then fucking the cook fucking
Senor El Camino.
Yeah, was probably my favorite part, because it's just it was just so random, because that fool just wanted to go to the liquor store, and that's just the day in the life of fucking the cook and Ross, fool. So it's just
yeah. So imagine being Ross and seeing that shit in real life. That probably really happened to him. Yeah, me and Wes and I were just at the gas station, and we were talking about how spun the gas station was. like the little store, and how the cook was like, "Hey, can I use your back room?" And he was like, just doing meth in the back room and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, this place looks pretty seedy like that too. It looks all kind of run down. But yeah, do you want to do a play-by-play or something, or do you want to just talk about our favorite characters or parts? Or...
Yeah. Do you have a favorite part, or do you want to talk about?
Well, first, let's go back. Let's rewind a bit. And, let's ask Tiny when, or what was his first experience with this film? When did you first see this movie?
Well, obviously, I saw this movie way later. Because Vic showed it to me. If he saw it like in 2008 or 9, like he said, he must have showed it to me maybe like 10 or like 11 or something. Yeah. And that's why I mean, Vic was just like, oh, you got to watch this because like we seen the similar things to the movie and like, and then this movie does do some like funny shit. Like there's a lot of funny shit, dude. Like the Spider-Mike masturbating scene, dude, is just too much for me, dude. Because that fool, he's literally called fucking Blondie up, fool, and he's just jerking off to her voice, dude. Like,
yeah. I was telling Wes that sometimes when I watch him now, I think of the sloth dude from Ice Age.
Dad, that voice, that little lisp he has is just too much for
that
me.
And Spawn, how he was Violator in Spawn. Sometimes I hear that.
He's done a lot of stuff. He's in Super Mario Brothers.
He was
Luigi.
He was Luigi.
What's another? He's in Empire, another drug film.
He was in The Freak,
The Pest.
The Pest. He did the stand-up comedy, the one for History for Latinos, or for Chicanos, or Latinos.
Yeah.
What film was he in where he was like this villain dude who was like a corporate guy, and they were going to shoot him or something, and they spared him, and then he came back? I can't remember, but it was fairly recent. You guys even reviewed it too.
Really?
Yeah, he was in the film, but he wasn't like one of the main villains in it or something. But he was part of like a hitman crew or some shit. I could be spaced out, spun wrong, but I like
Romeo and Juliet, dude.
He was fucking Tybalt, dude.
Tu Wong Fu, dude.
He was in Tu Wong Fu.
He's in Chef. He's in Moulin Rouge. He's in fucking John Wick.
Oh, that's right. He was in John Wick. I think that's the one I was talking about.
Land of the Dead.
He's done a lot of different things. The Jerk.
That's crazy, dude. His work is ongoing, dude.
He's in The Happening with M. Night Shyamalan.
I don't remember him in that.
Shyamalan with Ding Dong.
Waco, Vic.
What happened?
He was in Waco.
He was in Waco. Maybe that's what I'm talking about. But I can't believe I didn't remember him in Romeo and Juliet, dude.
Yeah.
That's like one of my favorite roles of his, dude. That's nuts. See, I have too much. Being a music producer, you kind of like Johnny Mnemonic, you take certain things out and you forget because you're so infatuated with music.
You're only into what you're sampling at the time.
That's why I need memory cards so I can put them in and take them out. That's why I have these migraines, bro. But yeah, Spider Mike, I felt like anytime I think of this movie, I automatically think of Spider Mike because his character was so... Like, I've seen his character before. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen him in real life, or I've, might have related to Spider Mike, like, inadvertently. Mm-hmm. But his character, for me, was probably my favorite character.
Yeah.
Out of all of them. I'd have to say, though, I love that there's a lot of, like, music cameos, like, musical artist cameos in it. Rob Halford from fucking
Judas
Priest.
In the Pork Shop.
Mm-hmm. Didn't he live in Hillcrest for a minute? I could be wrong on that.
I don't know. Billy Corgan is in it.
the fact that Eric Roberts was in it, and I didn't really realize that till later, because he's just not in a role that you would think he would be